All right, so this question says Sasha has poison ivy. Has a poison ivy rash that covers 120 square inches of area on her body. The medication that the doctor prescribes removes 1/5 of the rash area per day. What fraction of the rash remains each day? What fraction of the rash is removed each day? And we're going to calculate the area of the rash that remains after 3 days. So again, always start by reading your questions carefully, annotate and pull out important information. So the rash initially covers at 120 square inches. That is going to be your initial value. The medication that the doctor prescribes, it removes 1/5 of the area per day. So that is how much it's decaying by. So we need to figure out like what fraction remains. So what remains is going to be important. And then the other question that we're answering is what fraction of the rash is removed, which is the 1/5. We are seeing that. And then the third thing that we need to do, all these packed questions, man, is to calculate the area that remains after 3 days. So we've got a lot going on here. So what are some things we've established so far is that our initial value is 120 square inches. We know that the fraction that is removed on a daily basis is 1/5. And in order to find the fraction that remains, we're going to subtract that from 1. And then we'll have the equation because we'll have the initial value and the growth factor, and we can calculate how much remains after 3 days. So let's get into it. So establishing important information, 120 square inches is covered. We know that 1/5 is removed, and if 1/5 is removed, then how much remains? It's 1 minus 1/5, and the way we go about doing that, that 1 is the same as 5 over 5. We know that by just paying attention to our denominator, we subtract 1/5. Keep your denominator, subtract your numerator, so that's how we're getting that 4/5 right there. Yeah. And the equation that we end up getting is going to be y is equal to 120 times 4/5. And we want to figure out, like, after 3 days, how much is remained. So that x, the exponent x represents the number of days that have passed since Sasha started using the medication or the prescription. So how do we calculate that? Well, as we said, that the x is going to be replaced with 3. So after 3 days, the amount that remains, the area of the rash that remains, is going to be y is equal to 120 times 4/5 times 3. And we know that that 4/5 raised to the third power, is being multiplied by itself 3 times. You can also write this as 0.8. So when you put this in your calculator, it's 120. Oh, sorry about that. Let's go back. Let's pause this. Yes, so as I was saying, the way you do this in your calculator would be, you could do 120 times 0.8 times 0.8 times 0.8, and you're going to end up with 61.44 square inches. So that's the size or the area of the rash that remains.